Hi guys, this is Frankie Torres from the Pixel Slayers. Today I'm going to show you a cool little item I picked up last week. This is a Game Boy Advance that's been modified. I purchased it through an Etsy shop called TheGodofGaming. That's the name of the Etsy shop. He sells basically the parts to do this mod and also does it for you. And he also does mods for GBA SPs and quite a few things he specializes in, but one of the main things is custom Game Boys. And basically what he does is he lets you choose for about $100 US. He'll let you choose what kind of screen you want, what kind of case you want, what kind of button color you want, and also he does the 101 backlight mod to the system. So if I turn it on for you, you'll see that you can actually see the game, unlike the original ones. He did a pretty good job. I was pretty impressed. Fast shipping. What he does is he gets salvaged, parts from damage. I'm assuming damaged Game Boys, and he, takes the motherboard out. He orders the 101 screens. I don't believe they are actually from SPs. I think they're the remanufactured 101 screens, but they work just as fine for this. And he gets brand new cases and brand new screens and brand new buttons, and basically builds brand new Game Boys using the old motherboards. So I'm very pleased and I'm very impressed, especially for the price. For $100, that's a pretty good price for this. I mean, there's other modders out there that sell them for, well over $150, some even as high as $230, which I wouldn't pay that much. But the fact that he makes it pretty easy and he lets you customize what you want to do. And had a little shipping snafu, and he was very responsive. So, I'm pretty impressed for $100. I mean, a couple of quick things I want to let you know about. Even though it has a color screen, the battery life does not appear to suffer. I have about 4 hours into this Pokemon game I'm playing right now, and the batteries are still, right up there. I believe these are rated for about 6 hours normally, and I believe I'm going to get that. I think it's going to be about 6 hours. So it really doesn't affect the battery life. And the replacement buttons, some of these cases, people report that the replacement buttons are cheap filling. These are very good filling replacement buttons. They fill just like the original. One thing I noticed is when I first got it, when it was brand spanking new, the D-pad was a little bit stiff. But as I started playing more and more, it basically kind of loosened in, and now I don't have that problem. But besides that, I mean, the build quality of this unit is pretty well. I mean, if you look at, there's no big giant gaps. You just see the little cutout plastic, but that's normal for any, plastic. You see the quality of the unit, like everything is put together really well. I believe these are obviously aftermarket shells. When I took it apart, I noticed that they're a little thinner than the Nintendo shells, but when it's all put together, you can't tell any difference. One thing I did notice about the replacement shell is it doesn't line up perfectly here, but that's really not a big deal. It doesn't affect anything. It's just how they cut the plastic piece. And on the back, it even has like a replacement sticker. This is not an original sticker, but it looks like an original, so no serial number. And another quick thing that might bother some is the battery door is it doesn't go in like as snug as a GBA, Nintendo GBA battery cover would. I mean, everything looks like it uses the molds from the original GBAs, but the plastic is a little thinner, but it doesn't fall out. There's another thing I read on Amazon, people ordering these replacement cases saying that these don't stay on. Haven't had that problem with this. This stays on. It doesn't fall off. It's just not as snug as I would like, but it's not a big deal. I'm just being nitpicky. But yeah, I mean, you can get multiple colors. A lot of people like the clear colors. You can get transparent colors, transparent buttons. You can get glass. You can get a glass replacement screen, or you can get plastic one with Pikachu and Pichu. Or you can get one with Mario and Luigi, or just a regular, I don't know why you'd want a plastic one, I would get the glass, but different variations of these, and of the actual base itself. And it plays all games. Like, one cool thing about the GBA Advance was it was probably the most comfortable Game Boy system ever produced to hold. It's the most comfortable system, and it plays all generations. It plays the original DMG model games, plays the Game Boy Color games. It plays the special, you know, like the Pikachu edition type games that are customized. They're like Game Boy Color games, but they also work on the Game Boy. It plays all those. And of course, it plays good old-fashioned advanced games. So I'm very pleased with my purchase. It's so nice being able to lay in bed at night when it's pitch black and being able to actually see my Game Boy and be comfortable. I find this design more comfortable than a DS even. This is probably my favorite Game Boy ever. I remember getting one of these. I imported one of these from Japan in 2001 when they first launched. And this has always been my favorite Game Boy. And I'm just glad that I finally have it back, you know, essentially, but better. You know, I have a cool color scheme that I really like, and better backlight screen, and I don't know, it just feels great to have this back in my life, and it's an awesome system. And so we'll leave a little link on to the GodofGaming's Etsy page if you want to check it out. I know $100 might seem a little steep, but for what you get, it's well worth it. If you were trying to put one of these together yourself, if you didn't already have the system, you know, you can easily pay about $55 to $60 for the screen. If you know where to look, you can get them for $30, but that's not the most common. Most people wouldn't know what, you know, don't want to go or order from AliExpress. So you'd spend $50 for the screen, about $15 for the case. The buttons will run you about $10. By the time and then that doesn't even include the actual guts, the Game Boy itself, and the adapter board. So by the time you piece it all together, you're really spending probably closer to $150 for the build, assuming you had to go buy an actual Game Boy to do it with. Obviously, TheGodofGaming sells thousands of these, so he buys everything bulk, and he can do it cheaper. For $100, I don't know how he's making any money, but I'm sure he is, because why would he be doing it? You could tell that he's passionate about what he does through the craftsmanship. I opened it up and I saw how everything was done, and everything is really well done. I'm very impressed with the work. So yeah, I just wanted to show you this cool little custom GBA, one of my latest pickups. I love this thing. I'm just so happy. This is so cool. So yeah, this is Frankie Torres, the Pixel Slayers. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It really helps us out. And that is all. Yeah, see ya.